My child, do not let your deep pain make you forget why I have kept you here on this earth. The memories you try so hard to bury might be the exact ground where I am planting your new calling. I did not take away the one you love just to leave you empty, but to free your hands to receive the sacred blessing I am giving you now. Long ago, when the prophet Elijah was taken to heaven in a whirlwind, his disciple Elisha collapsed under the heavy weight of grief. He tore his clothes and wept bitterly, having lost his teacher and spiritual father. But in that exact moment of brokenness, Elisha saw Elijah's cloak falling down to him. It was not a mere keepsake, but a sign of his mission. I was giving him the strength to carry on the journey. From that moment on, he stopped living for his pain and stepped up to fulfill my divine plan. It is the same for you whenever someone you cherish is taken away. It is not an ending, but the beginning of a new road I need you to walk. My child, there are sorrows so deep they make you want to let go of everything. Yet in that quiet place I am whispering to you. I know you do not want to hear anyone's advice right now. You do not want comfort, you just want the whole world to stop. But believe me, in that rock-bottom place where you have nothing left to hold on to, I am touching your soul most clearly. Your pain is never random and your tears are never wasted. You might think you are just watching this video to pass the time or listening out of curiosity, but if something inside you stirs right now that is not just emotion, that is my voice speaking to you. Do not ignore it just because it comes in a simple way. I am knocking on your heart through these quiet moments to show you I am still here, and this message is no accident. You still remember their final look, don't you? In that gaze, there was pain, but also a quiet promise left for you to carry. You might not understand why after they left you suddenly feel stronger and more grounded, or why you suddenly see things with such clarity. Do not write that off as a coincidence. It is the fruit of the prayers they whispered for you for so many years. The one who passed away cannot speak now, but their prayers are still alive before my throne. They left you more than memories. They left you a spiritual inheritance, a legacy of faith, mercy, wisdom, and a sacred mission you are called to continue. Do not just hold this gift in your tears. Let it bear fruit in the way you live and the lives you touch every day. If you only look backward, you will bury the very treasure I want to bring to life inside you. I see your heart full of regrets. If only you had been closer. If only you had spoken more. If only you had done more. But child, there are no what-ifs in my divine plan. I receive every single soul at the perfect moment, following a beautiful design that goes far beyond your human understanding. Guilt only locks up your heart, leaving no room for my light. Stop hurting yourself with questions that have no answers, because those questions cannot help the one who is gone. They only pull you away from me. Trust that I, the author of your story, am still holding the pen to write your next chapter. Do not stop at grief. I want you to be a witness of hope. When you dare to surrender, I will turn your pain into a river of grace. When you finally lift your head, I will make the ashes in your heart bloom into the light of resurrection. You might think you found this message by accident, but you did not. Nothing is a coincidence to me when your heart is soft enough to listen. I do not come with thunder, but as a quiet whisper within. During every tear you cry and every sleepless night, I am right there gathering them as seeds to sow into your soul. You could easily ignore this and think these are just empty words of comfort on a screen. But be careful. That indifference could make you miss the peace I'm offering you right now. My child, stop for a second and really listen. This is not just background noise or words lost in the wind. It is my calling to you in the middle of your pain, the start of a journey where your tears will become the oil that keeps your faith burning. If you feel touched but do not change, you will miss the calling I have prepared for you. Do not let my words fade away like an echo. Let them become the very breath in your chest. As you step forward, let us walk together, not as a memory, but as a mission. My child, some callings do not make a sound. They speak directly to the emptiness inside you. When you feel like nobody understands you anymore, and you have absolutely nothing left to hold on to, when your tears fall and you do not even have the strength to pray, that is exactly when I am whispering closest to you. I know you often ask, "Where are you, God?" when you are suffering like this. But my answer has always been right there in every fragile breath, in the quiet after every sob. You miss it because you only search for flashy miracles, failing to notice my presence in gentle, tender moments. Yet, in those empty, painful moments, I have laid my hand on your soul, not to judge you, but to comfort and awaken you. Think back to the story of Samuel when he was young. Deep in the night, he heard a voice calling him 3 times. He assumed it was just Eli, the old priest. It was only on the 4th try that Eli realized it was actually the Lord calling out. He told Samuel to reply, "Speak, Lord, for your servant is listening." See, even those I choose can mistake my voice for someone else's. If Samuel struggled to hear me in a quiet temple, how could I ever blame you for struggling amidst the storm in your own heart? But my child, the difference is that Samuel kept his heart open. He listened one more time, and that quiet patience unlocked a lifetime of holy purpose. And you are hearing something too, aren't you? A gut feeling, a soft nudge, or this video moving you to tears for reasons you cannot explain. None of this is a coincidence. It is my way of knocking not with loud thunder, but with a gentle touch. Do not ignore it. If you will only turn back to me, I will turn this whisper into a path of hope for your entire life. People fear suffering, and that makes sense. Pain strips away our armor and leaves us exposed. Yet it is right there in your weakness that my strength does its finest work. Everyone wants to hear me in triumphs, miracles, and grand blessings. But I usually speak through the very things this world runs from: loss, empty silence, and loneliness. Because when you have nothing else left to hold on to, you finally lean on me. Once everything is stripped away, you finally see who has been standing beside you. I have never left your side, not even for a single step. Sometimes, I do not take away your pain right away. I use it as a lantern to guide you out of your own darkness, like a torch that must burn to give light. Your soul truly begins to shine when you let me touch your deepest wound. This is not a punishment, but a quiet rebirth, and I am waiting for you to see it. So many hearts hear my call only to turn away. They feel a spark for a moment, then forget the second morning comes. My child, that is the greatest danger. Because being emotionally moved without actually changing is just a quiet way of rejecting my grace. When you treat my voice like background noise in your endless social media feed, you are quietly locking out my grace. Every time you tell yourself you will pray tomorrow or change later, you miss the chance to meet me today. Do not think I only call out once. I keep calling, but my whisper grows faint when you are completely drowned in your own grief. I will never force you, because real love does not coerce. But remember, the very fact that you can still hear me means your heart is still beating. If you let my voice fade away completely, it is not because I am silent. You have simply locked your heart too tight. Let me tell you this, my beloved child. I did not come to steal away the one you love. I come to touch your soul inside the empty space they left behind. When you weep, I weep with you. When you suffer, I am right there with you. But unlike you, I can already see the beautiful flowers that will bloom from this dusty path. I see how the rest of your story can bring hope to others if you will only open your heart. My call is not just a band-aid, it is an invitation to walk the path of resurrection. You will not walk alone. Like Samuel, you only need to say, "Here I am, Lord." Do that, and I will do the rest. I will turn your loss into a gateway to true peace. My child, do not fear when my voice calls out to you in the middle of your pain. That whisper does not come to confuse you, but to guide you out of your old broken ways. It is like when night falls and a cold wind slips through the doorway, sending a sudden shiver down your spine. You can lock your doors, or you can step outside to find a sky full of stars. My voice is just like that. It scares you because it demands change, pushing you out of your comfort zone. But only when you dare to step out will you see the beautiful dawn I have prepared. Do not let your heart get so comfortable in the quiet that you no longer recognize my voice. Every ache in your heart, every quiet moment is my soft invitation. You only need to stop, breathe, and say, "I am listening, Lord." Then my light will break through your dark night, and you will realize I have never been far from you, not even for a fraction of a second. I know you fear that opening your heart again means you will only get hurt again. But my child, I do not come to break you. I come to lift you up right where you fell. Not everyone hears my voice when I speak through suffering. Only those who have walked through grief have ears to listen and hearts that truly feel. I chose you not because of your strength, but because you became weak enough to let me step in and work. Do not ignore these quiet moments. When you hear my word and feel a gentle stir inside your soul, hold fast to it. Do not let it slip away. This is the start of a new journey. Let me work to turn your pain into a living testimony and your tears into grace for others. Every whisper I send you in the darkest night carries the bright promise of an approaching dawn. One day you will look back and realize that what brought you to your knees today was actually your first step towards standing strong. What felt completely broken was actually where I was laying the foundation for your new purpose. You are no longer just a person in pain. Your spirit has been fully awakened. When you are ready to listen, I will show you the spiritual legacy left behind by the one you lost. You are called to receive this, not just to grieve. Some chapters seem to close when they are actually just beginning. You might not realize that the moment you said goodbye to your loved one, heaven quietly turned the page to your destiny. Everything you see as loss, I see as a sacred handing over. You cry because you think I took them away, but you cannot see yet that in that exact moment, I was giving back. Your hands feel empty right now, yet into that space I am placing an eternal gift that your loved one built with their entire life. Do you remember the story of Elijah and Elisha? When Elijah ascended to heaven in a whirlwind, Elisha fell to his knees in bitter grief. It felt like his entire world had vanished. But then he saw the cloak fall to the ground. It was not just an ordinary piece of cloth, it was a symbol of spiritual power and a passing of the torch. Elisha picked it up and God's power began to flow through him. In that same way, your loved one has left a cloak for you. It might be their unwavering faith, their deep kindness, or simply a heart that knew how to love. They are gone, but their legacy lives on, burning inside you like a glowing ember hidden beneath the ashes, waiting to be fanned into a bright flame. I need you to realize that death does not just steal things away. It actually passes them on in a different form. My child, those who die in faith do not leave behind a hollow, meaningless void. They prayed for you far more than you will ever know. They spoke your name to me, asking me to protect you, guide you, and grant you the wisdom they did not have time to share. Those prayers are never lost. They are like seeds buried deep in the soil, waiting for a single drop of rain to grow into a strong tree. And that rain falls the moment you open your heart. When you begin to view your life not through the lens of grief, but in the clear light of your divine calling, those seeds will blossom. You will find yourself transformed, more peaceful, deeper, and readier than ever to love. Not because of your own sheer strength, but because you are walking in the spiritual inheritance they entrusted to you. I know there are times when it feels so unfair. You ask why I took the person who loved you most, why I could not let them stay a bit longer. But if you could see through my eyes, you would know that every soul has a set time to finish its mission. Once their earthly purpose is finished, I call them back home, not to distance them from you, but to unite them with me so they can watch over you in a far deeper way. You think you lost them, but they have actually been set free to be present everywhere in the gentle breeze and the morning sun. In that deep peace you feel without knowing where it comes from. I am not stripping away your comfort. I am simply transforming it into something deeper and spiritual. No longer a physical hand holding yours, but a soul lifting you up. No longer whispers in your ear, but my breath inside you whenever you remember them with love instead of grief. Do not let your memories become a prison. My beloved, let them become an altar. Do not just sit there weeping, kneel and surrender everything to me. Every memory rooted in faith becomes a fresh source of strength. When you think of them, do not ask why they had to leave. Instead, ask what you should do with the legacy they left you. Perhaps they taught you how to be patient, how to forgive when deeply wounded, and how to keep believing when everything else fell apart. None of that is lost. It is alive inside you, waiting to be awakened so it can bear fruit. I do not expect you to ignore your grief, but I want you to turn that longing into action, to live, love, and believe on their behalf. Because that is how you truly keep them close, not through tears, but in my light. So many believe that when a loved one dies, every beautiful thing fades away. But truly, it is inside those very losses that I start building eternal blessings. Your family, your friends, those you hold close, they do not leave to abandon you in empty silence. They leave to hand you the key to a new path. Since that moment, have you noticed how you understand others more deeply? You are far quicker to show compassion. Suddenly, you feel closer to people who are hurting. That is not just the result of grief. It is the fruit of a grace passed down to you. Pain did not harden your heart. It softened it so you can love deeper. This is proof that their spiritual inheritance is starting to flow through you. I want you to remember this, my child. When someone leaves, their love never fades. It just changes form, like a candle passing its flame to another. The original candle may burn out, but the light keeps spreading. The one you lost is not trapped in the past. Side by side with me, they walk with you right now. Even if you cannot see them, they are right behind you, gently guiding you forward. Whenever you fall, they want you to rise and truly live, not just survive. They want you to live fully, deeply appreciating the true value of every single breath. That is the ultimate way to honor their love. That is how you keep their presence alive through your actions. My child, do not fear accepting this spiritual legacy, because when I trust you with it, I also give you the strength to carry it. Do not keep it hidden. Do not let your grief turn into chains. Let it become the holy spark that drives you forward. You might not feel it yet, but since they left, a deep shift has happened inside you. A softer heart, a kinder gaze, a real ability to listen. These are pure signs of grace at work. I never asked you to pretend to be strong. I only ask you to be honest, to admit that it hurts, and yet to keep moving forward. To admit you have lost, but to keep your faith. For inside that very belief, your spiritual legacy begins to bloom. And when those flowers bloom, you will realize they never truly left your side. They have simply moved into your heart so that together you can finish the divine mission I started in you both. Once peace fills your soul and you look back, you will see that every loss holds a promise. The promise that nothing with me is ever wasted. I will never let your loved one fade away. I only welcome them into eternity so they can pray for you forever. And when your work here is done, you will know that no goodbye is permanent. They are only sweet reunions delayed until all of my children return home. But until that day arrives, I want you to live as someone who holds the precious treasure of God, a person who loves, who serves, and who brings light. Wherever you walk in this manner, your loved one lives on right there beside you. You will find that your grief no longer weighs you down, but becomes sacred ground where a new purpose begins. When that day comes, I will guide you deeper to a place where guilt loses its grip, and you are fully healed by my mercy. My child, I see the quiet wound hiding in your heart, the one labeled, if only. If only I had made it home sooner. If only I had said one last word. If only I had not let my anger show. If only I had held their hand one last time. Those if onlys are like sharp thorns driving deeper into your heart every day. You believe that is just love, but in truth it is only self-condemnation. You do not see how these what-ifs drag you away from my peace, drowning out my quiet voice. My child, I never asked you to love perfectly. I only ever wanted your heart to be sincere. Every effort you made, no matter how messy or incomplete, I witnessed it all. I do not use your flaws to judge you. Instead, I use your loving heart to bring healing. Remember when Jesus appeared after rising from the dead? The disciples shook with shame for leaving him, but he did not come to lecture them. He simply said, "Peace be with you." Then he looked at Peter, the one who denied him 3 times, and asked a single question. "Do you love me?" No anger, no blame, and no judgment followed. It was just a gentle invitation back to his first love. Peter had his own if-onlys. But when he faced a love bigger than his mistakes, he found true freedom. And it is the same for you. If you dare to release those heavy regrets, you will experience a love far greater than your loss. A love that heals without erasing your past. It turns that pain into an anointed wound. From your own healing, you will grow in deep compassion for others who suffer more than ever before. I know there are quiet nights when you lie awake in the dark, your heart heavy as stone. A voice whispers in your mind saying, "You could have saved them. You shouldn't have said that. You should have done things differently." And you think that is the voice of conscience. But my child, it isn't. It is the voice of the liar, the one who tries to pull you away from me by wrapping despair in the clothes of regret. I don't want you to forget the one you lost, but I also don't want you to die inside with them. Pain is not a home. It is only a place you pass through. Guilt keeps you frozen on the road while I wait to lead you forward. You believe you deserve punishment, but I tell you no, you deserve my warm embrace. Because you aren't hurting out of malice, but out of love. And pure love is never a sin. Understand that the departure of a soul is never in your hands. I hold time itself. Every human life is a chapter in a beautiful mystery that only I can read in full. You can't keep anyone on this earth with your worry or your regret. Some things are just beyond human strength, and I make no mistakes in the story I am writing with your life. So when you whisper, "It's my fault," remember that I still hold the pen. This is not the last page. I am still writing your story using your tears and your faith. If you cling forever to that old page, afraid to move on or make more mistakes, your story will never be finished. Let me write with you. I'll turn what you call failure into your most beautiful chapter, the one that speaks of mercy. My child, guilt is like a golden chain. It feels noble because it is linked to love, but really it locks you in a dark room of imaginary sin. You must learn to tell the difference between healthy sorrow and self-condemning guilt. Sorrow is weeping while still believing that I can heal you. Guilt is when you stop believing that I am merciful enough to forgive you. When you cling to "if only" in your heart, you are telling me, "Lord, that death fell outside of your plan." But no, not a single soul leaves this world without my knowledge. Not 1 second passes outside of my hands. So when you say, "if only," you easily forget that I am still the God of perfect timing. I want you to understand that just because you didn't say or do everything, it does not mean you have failed. Sometimes I leave things unfinished simply to awaken a deeper desire in you to love. If everything were perfect, you would never understand what mercy truly means. But in your clumsiness and weakness, you discover how much you need me. I did not come to erase your past, but to make it holy. Every regret and every tear, when placed in my hands, becomes a precious jewel. Do not push them away. Just allow me to turn them into light. I once asked a hurting soul who was weeping in prayer, "Why do you keep yourself locked in regret?" And they answered, "Because I'm afraid if I am happy again, they'll be forgotten." My child, that is your fear too, isn't it? But I tell you, finding joy does not betray their memory. When you smile, they aren't forgotten. They are honored by the very light you are living in now. Because love never dies. It only changes form from tears into thanksgiving and from pain into prayer. Don't be afraid to step out of your grief. Leaving sadness behind isn't forgetting them. It is trusting that I am continuing the story they ran out of time to finish. When you let me heal you, you are working with me in the sacred work of resurrection. I want your heart to be lighter, not so you forget the one who passed, but so you have the strength to love those who are still here. If you keep holding on to that imaginary guilt, you will block the path of healing I have already opened for you. But if today you simply say, "Lord, I give this regret to you," then in that exact moment, the door of healing grace will open. You don't have to struggle anymore. You only need to believe that I have no desire to condemn you. I only want to hold you close. When you let love grow greater than fear, you will see all those painful what-ifs melt away like morning mist. True love never demands if only. It only knows how to move forward. You cannot go back and change the past, but you can start fresh today with a clean heart, ready to reach out to other hurting souls who are suffering just like you did. And in that very moment, you will hear my voice once more, no longer calling you from the depths of your pain, but from the abundance of life. I am inviting you to step out of guilt and put on your new mantle. The calling I have prepared for you, the mantle of one who is fully healed, to bring healing to others. My beloved, when you bravely let go of your what-ifs, you lose nothing at all. In fact, you will get everything back in a new way, fuller and far more radiant. Only when you stop blaming yourself can you see your true purpose. You are meant to carry on the goodness they left behind. I will guide you down that path with gentle care. From now on, your pain is not a chain, but your wings. And as you spread those wings, you will hear my voice whispering inside your heart. Go, my child. This grief was never meant to break you, but to help you rise. It is time for you to stand up, not to forget the past, but to receive what I am giving you now. I have gathered every single tear you shed, to weave them into a mantle of divine purpose that only you can wear. It is not made of silk or gold, but woven from faith, compassion, and sanctified pain. You think settling for a tiny piece is enough, but I did not make you just to get by. I created you to keep the song going. Your loved one has finished their part in this melody, and now you are the one who must play the next notes. Living forever in the past is not loyalty. It is just a way of hiding from the path I set before you. Do you know the story of Job? When he lost his kids, his wealth, and his health, he still declared, "The Lord gave, and the Lord has taken away. Blessed be the name of the Lord." People thought he was just giving up, but I knew it was a soul touching something sacred. Job did not hide his pain. Instead, he let me keep writing his story, using the very things he thought were gone. Likewise, you were not made just to weep over the past, but to step forward into the light of a new purpose. When you hurt, I do not just comfort you. I awaken something deep inside your soul. Deep compassion, courage, and a stronger faith. These shifts are not accidents. They show that you are being chosen for a new mission. But you know, my child, many people run and hide when called. They fear they are simply not good enough. They fear that answering my call means losing their peace. I do not blame them. Even Elisha trembled when he picked up Elijah's mantle. But listen, my child, my mantle is not heavy. It only feels that way when you pack your fears inside it. I do not expect you to be perfect. I only ask for a willing heart. Because once you step into this calling, you are not working alone. I am the one working through you. Every small act of kindness, every word of comfort, and every quiet moment spent listening to a broken soul makes this calling shine. You still feel unworthy, too weak, too tired, and too small. But my child, if I only chose the strong, who would ever understand the fallen? If I used only perfect people, who could heal those who are falling apart? Because you have suffered, lost, and feared, you are ready to be my instrument of grace. I am not placing a heavy burden on you. I am giving you the honor of becoming a channel of my healing grace. You do not need to preach with fancy words. Just live your life with a heart that has been touched by me. When you meet people who are lost, they will notice a difference in your eyes, a soft, gentle light that has the power to save. That is the glow of the holy calling you wear. I know you will get tired, doubt yourself, and want to lay this mantle down. You will cry out, "Lord, I am not strong enough." But remember, this mantle was not made to be a mere decoration. It was woven to protect and warm you. When you tremble, it will wrap around you. When you get lost, it will remind you whose you are. I hand-wove it from your own love and tears. It fits your heart perfectly, and no one else can take your place. Whenever loneliness creeps in, just place your hand over your chest and close your eyes. You will hear a heartbeat that is not just yours, but mine beating inside you. That rhythm is a sacred song of souls who know deep pain yet still choose to love. My child, do not fear when this purpose makes you stand out. Do not worry if others do not understand. Those who serve the Lord do not live to please this world, but to reflect His light. You do not have to be famous or great. Just be real before me, before yourself, and before others. One honest word from you can rescue a sinking soul. One warm embrace can make them believe that God is still near. You do not need to accomplish massive things. Just do small things with immense love. This is your true mission, to honor the legacy of the one you lost by fully living out your own destiny. Do not let this gift sit idly on your shoulders like a cold piece of jewelry. Let it touch lives. I want to see you walk, speak live, forgive and smile. Not because you forgot, but because you finally understand. Pain is no longer just a memory. It becomes the strength that lets you love deeper, endure longer, and show true compassion. Living like this means you are continuing the work of the one who went before you. Hear me on this: if you run away, that sacred calling will just become a selfish hiding place. But if you surrender, it will become wings of a free bird flying everywhere to carry blessings to weary hearts. Which will you choose? My child, you do not need to answer me with words. I will see your response in how you live, in every step you take. If you choose to give yourself, I will open doors. If you walk forward, I will sustain you. Once you accept the Lord's calling, you never walk alone again. You will see that wherever you go, sorrow starts to fade. Darkness retreats and new life begins to bloom. That is the miracle for those who answer their true calling. They do not need external signs and wonders, because their very life has become the miracle. One day, looking back, you will see this entire journey in a whole new light. You will realize that pain did not break you, it helped you grow. You will see that the purpose I gave you, which once made you tremble, has become part of your soul, soft, warm, and radiant. You will realize that I never take anyone from your life without giving you something even more sacred in return. And when you are standing firm in that divine light, you will hear my voice call you once more, but this time, not just for yourself, but for those lost in the very pain you once survived. Go, my child, carry the light you received into the darkest places. Let the calling inside you become a warm flame for souls currently frozen in the cold. My child, seeing your mended heart and your steady steps, I know the time has finally come. Your pain is no longer a heavy burden dragging you down. It is a quiet light within you, but that light is not meant for you alone. Every wound I have healed in your life carries a mission for you to become a beacon of hope for others. If you keep your pain locked deep inside, it will eventually turn to ashes. But when you bring it to the light and share it, it becomes a warming fire. Remember, you were not saved to sit idle. You were redeemed so you could reach out and help rescue others. Long ago, I met a woman at a well. She came alone at midday carrying a heavy past of shame and deep loneliness. But once she experienced God's love, she could not keep it to herself. She dropped her water jar right there. She ran to the village and told everyone, "Come see a man who told me everything I ever did. Don't you see?" Through a single encounter and one healed heart, a whole town woke up. That is the power of a survivor who dares to speak out. It is the same for you. Your suffering is not a shameful secret, but a testimony that resurrecting grace is real. When you share your story, you are not just exposing your wounds. You are clearing a path for people trapped in darkness. I do not need fancy words from you. I just want you to speak from the honest truth of your heart. A kind word at the right moment, an understanding look, a hug completely free of judgment. Sometimes these tiny gestures speak God's language perfectly. You will be amazed how what seems small to you can rescue a soul from utter despair. For pain that has been surrendered to God is no longer a memory, it becomes a river of grace. Simply remain faithful and let that grace flow through you. Do not fear getting hurt again. I will be your shield and protection, the gentle wind carrying this warmth further than you can ever imagine. You might ask, "Lord, I am so ordinary. How can I bring hope to anyone?" But my child, I do not search for the great. I search for those who have been broken. Only those who survive the dark truly understand the value of light. When you meet someone hurting, like you used to hurt, you won't offer hollow cliches. You will simply listen. And it is that compassionate silence that will begin to heal their soul. Then you become a silent light, the rare kind found only in broken hearts that still choose to love. You have no idea how many people are watching you right now. They might never say a word, but they are watching and listening. They want to see proof that God is still real. When they see you keep living, keep believing, and stay gentle despite all your pain, they will start to believe that healing is possible for them too. Like a river, you cannot hold the water back. Water only stays fresh when it flows. Do not hoard your pain like a tragic souvenir. Let it flow and water the dry ground. I restored you not to close your doors, but to open them wide, guiding other wounded souls back into the light. I see a different kind of strength in you now. Not the power of someone who never fell, but of one who stumbled and stood back up. This world has enough perfect people. It needs people who show mercy. Walk forward knowing everything you hold, your faith, your quiet peace, and even your deep wounds is pure grace. And that grace must be shared. You do not know how your simple story of how I pulled you out of the dark can rescue someone from giving up on life. That is the raw power of your testimony. You do not need a stage or a crowd, just one honest heart speaking directly to another. My child, open your eyes. This world is crowded with broken hearts who do not know they are truly loved. They carry the same scars you used to, but they have not found me yet. You are the bridge not to preach at them, but to show them my gentle love. A quiet prayer whispered in secret. A tiny act of kindness nobody else sees. That is how you share my healing grace. Never believe your calling is trapped inside church walls or empty rituals. Your true calling shines in those quiet moments when you choose to forgive. When you choose love over bitterness and smile even while a deep ache still lingers in your heart. Those are the things that bring me true glory. Remember, your pain is fully redeemed only when it breathes life into someone else. I did not carry you through deep loss just to leave you sitting alone with your memories. I want you to plant those painful experiences like seeds. When you share your story and help another soul believe they can stand again, your suffering finds its ultimate purpose. Salvation never ends with just one person, it spreads like wildfire. You cannot hold it in. The more you share this light, the brighter it burns. Let me stir up that inner fire so you can carry my hope to a dark world. Not through your own power, but through the scars I healed. My child, this walk does not end with just comforting you. It ends with me sending you out. When you step forward, I walk beside you. When you speak, my voice will flow through you. In your quiet moments, my presence will fill the silence. Do not worry about doing too little, and do not fear being misunderstood. I do not expect perfection from you. I only ask for your faithfulness. Just keep moving forward. You will find that every time you bring hope to others, a little piece of heaven returns to you. That is how you stop being just a survivor of tragedy and become someone who plants fresh seeds of life. One day, looking back at the long road behind you, you will smile and whisper every single tear had a purpose. You will see how every heartbreak, every lonely night, and every quiet cry was used to write a beautiful new story, a story of resurrection grace woven into your daily life. When you share that message with the world, I will be present in every word you speak, in every look and every heartbeat, showing everyone who sees you that God is alive, still healing, and still loving. Walk forward, my child, because your struggle has become a light for others. Do not fear the journey. With every single step you take, I will make the ground beneath your feet bloom. Letting your pain be healed turns it from a wound into a testimony of grace. When you let me use your life to touch others, you stop living for yourself and enter the endless flow of God's love. That, my beloved child, is the true meaning of your life, turning loss into hope, letting each tear become a seed of your calling so that through your life this hurting world will believe I am still here. My beloved, I see the deep longing inside you. You do not want to just drift through life. You want every day to matter, and you long for your soul to be refreshed. You want to rise above who you were yesterday. That hunger did not just happen, it is a clear sign that my hand is quietly touching you. I know those quiet moments when you wonder if you still have a chance to start over. You ask if things will ever get brighter, and those simple questions are the first steps of your new path. But child, if this desire stays locked in your head and never leads to action, it will slowly fade into regret. If you find the courage to take just one tiny step, I will use it to sow a massive harvest in your life. Stop letting the opinions of others, their harsh words, or the silent judgment of this world hold you back. I know the pain of trying to grow and being misunderstood. I know why you chose to stay quiet. You stood aside just to feel safe. But when you let human opinions drown out my voice, you live trapped in a glass cage, looking at freedom but never holding it. There is a fierce battle inside you between the fatigue that wants to quit and the deep urge to start fresh. It is a war between the voice telling you to give up and the quiet whisper promising you can be whole again. I am not standing outside that fight. I am right beside you at its very center. I don't promise to sweep away every struggle overnight, but I do promise this: if you dare to rise and enter this inner battlefield with me, darkness won't win the final victory. Don't think your only fight is with other people. Your real battle is against fear and procrastination, and that old lifestyle clinging tightly to your soul. Every time you whisper, "I'll start tomorrow, I probably can't do this," you strip off your armor and surrender to the weight of discouragement. Look, I'm not asking you to be strong all at once. I only ask that you don't quit before we even start. You might feel weak, you might tremble. You can take steps forward while still feeling afraid. That doesn't disappoint me. It only breaks my heart when you lie there convincing yourself your life can never change and that this empty routine is your final destiny. Because when you do that, you lock your heart against the beautiful blessings I want to give you. You don't just lose your future, you bury the grace watered by the tears and prayers of those who love you. Trust me, I hear every single word you whisper to me. Lord, great things are only for the young, the gifted, or those who have it all together, and not for someone like me. But every time you say this, you use your age, your circumstances, and old wounds as a shield to protect your fear. You tell me it's simply too late to start over. You tell me the fire of your dreams is dead and your heart has absolutely no room for my plans. Do you know how much those words hurt me? Not because you offend me, but because you look at yourself through eyes more cruel than any enemy ever could. Have you forgotten I called Abraham in his old age and used Moses when he felt completely useless? I relied on Anna in the temple after she spent nearly her entire life hidden away. To me, no age is too late and no season of life is ever wasted. No heart is useless as long as it still hopes and lets me touch it once again. Yet you keep telling me that you don't have dreams anymore. But the very fact that you say that proves those dreams are still faintly breathing deep inside you, only covered in dust by fear and your past stumbles. You're just afraid to hope again and be truly heard. So you choose the comfort of numbness. You hide behind excuses like God surely has grace for others but not for me. That way you don't have to step out of your comfort zone. You don't have to change or let go of what is familiar, even if it's crushing your soul. But my child, rejecting your calling by putting yourself down isn't true humility. It's a quiet way of fighting my will. When you keep claiming you aren't worthy or that you just can't do it, you're basically telling me that I chose the wrong person and that I don't know what I'm doing. Honestly, that attitude pierces my heart far more than your weakness ever could. I don't need you to be a hero. I just need you to dare to let me work through you. I will do things far beyond your wildest dreams. It might not be anything that makes the world stop and stare, but quiet miracles that restore a human soul. That miracle starts in your own heart. The places that grew cold and hard from disappointment will finally soften. The dark, bitter corners of your mind will begin to shine with my light. Those deep, hidden spaces you were too afraid to open up will gently be touched and healed by my grace. From there, I will let others witness your powerful transformation. They will ask themselves, how can someone who hit rock bottom now stand so strong? How can someone who wanted to give up now speak of hope? And the only real answer will be that I was right there, renewing your spirit. You might not see it, but when I make your life new, I am also rebuilding hope for those around you. People are quietly watching you, your family, your friends, and those who saw you tumble into the darkness. When they see you slowly rise back up, they will finally believe that they can be lifted up too. So many of them are too terrified to come to me, fearing judgment, feeling unworthy, or thinking that I am far too distant. That's why I'll send them to you first. They will share deep secrets they've never dared whisper to anyone else. They will finally open up about the fears they've kept hidden for so long. Not because you're perfect, but because they feel a deep peace in you. The peace of someone who was shattered but never abandoned. Then you'll finally see why I was so patient with you, why I didn't let your pain swallow you or leave you to be consumed by despair. Every single tear you've cried, every sleepless night when you felt like you couldn't even breathe, I was there, turning all of that suffering into spiritual strength you can now use to help others. You won't give them cheap, empty cliches because you know exactly what it feels like to be choked by that heavy silence. You won't offer them cheap platitudes to just try harder. You remember exactly how it feels to want to give up. Simply be there. Listen, hold them close when the moment is right. Share a few simple words straight from your heart. Through them, I will work more powerfully than through any grand stage or sermon. I know you are terrified of freezing up, of not knowing what to say or do when others share their deepest pain with you. You worry you might hurt them more, thinking you lack the wisdom, holiness, or experience they need. But my child, you do not have to put on a show. You don't need to carry perfect, ready-made answers. All I ask is an open heart, ready for me to use as you hand their struggles over to me. I will give you the right words to speak, and sometimes I won't need you to say anything at all. Sometimes I only need you to cry with them, pray over them, and sit together in my quiet presence. Your presence, built from the pain you survived and the faith growing inside you, will become a direct channel of my grace. But remember, if you only receive my love and never give it away, if you keep all the comfort to yourself, the flow of grace inside you will dry up. I didn't mend your broken heart just for it to sit idle. I healed your soul so you could offer shelter to other hurting hearts. If you hoard my blessings, caring only about protecting your own comfort, while refusing to touch the wounds of others, that peace will soon turn empty. You will end up trapped in a dull safety, a life where you no longer feel deep pain but also lose your fire and passion for others. You will stop being moved by the pain around you. That is not my peace. It is a comfortable paralysis the enemy uses to lull back to sleep those who were once touched but refused to go further. I am calling you to step out of that comfort zone, not to toss you back into the storm, but to ensure the healing I began in you does not wither away. I want your life to be proof that pain is not the end and loss does not mean ruin. No matter how dark your past was, it cannot stop me from writing a brand new chapter. You will be the living answer for those wondering if faith is still worth holding on to. Is it worth standing up again? Every step you take, every right choice you make, and every time you say yes to love, even when you are afraid, will send a message louder than any sermon. God will never abandon anyone who is brave enough to let him in. And when you grow tired along the way, never forget to run back to me. You do not have to be strong 24/7. You don't have to pretend you are fine or support everyone else while ignoring your own pain. You still have the right to cry in my presence. Tell me you are exhausted and ask me to hold you just like I did when we first met. This is not starting over from scratch. It is simply because true love must always return to its source. I never want you to get so busy working for me that you forget you are my precious child. So when you feel yourself pushing toward burnout, remember that the safest place in the world is right here in my arms. From this place, I will lift you up again. I will breathe new life into the mission you carry, helping you shine as my light in the world. My beloved child, I do not ask for perfection, only faithfulness. Simply be faithful to the desire to grow every day. Stay true to that first yes, even when your voice shakes. Keep coming back to me every single time you stumble. Remain committed to being a beacon of hope for everyone around you. If you keep walking this path day after day, quietly and steadily, you will be shocked to find you have become an entirely new person without even noticing when the change happened. When you look back, you will realize that not a single tear you cried was ever wasted. No wound was pointless, and not one day of your life was ever a mistake. I used every bit of it to turn you from someone who just gritted their teeth to survive into someone who knows how to pour out love. From a soul swallowed by darkness into a beacon of light. From a soul who thought their calling was buried to a living witness of my mercy in this world. My child, from where I stand, I can see that the seeds of your dreams never truly died. It is just that the storms of life have blown so violently that you believed they had withered away. Do not pack away the deep desires and dreams that I planted inside your heart. Do not let a few stumbles, words of criticism, or closed doors force you to believe that you no longer have the right to hope. Those deep desires to live a meaningful life and do good, to see your family at peace and watch your loved ones return to the light, these are not childish fantasies. They are echoes of your true calling. I am not asking you to chase every passing whim, but I invite you to stay true to what remains even as the years fly by. Hold on to the things that warm your heart whenever you think of them, even when your outer circumstances do not seem to get any better. Keep quietly tending those good things. Keep working, keep pressing forward. Keep daring to dream instead of freezing up. It is in this very struggle that I am shaping you, molding your heart, purifying your motives so your dreams no longer serve your ego but align with my will. Do not fear the obstacles blocking your path, because the closer you walk toward the light, the more the darkness will try to push back. Some people simply will not understand. There are unseen forces trying to drag you back to your past. Expect mocking voices, cold shoulders, and words meant to wound. But my child, no enemy can defeat you if you refuse to let go of my hand. No power, no matter how clever, can pierce your soul when you hide in my presence. That does not mean you will never suffer. It means nothing can ever strip away your true identity. You belong to me. When you walk through uncertainty with that truth, no storm can sweep you away. I do not promise a path free of thorns, but I promise you no weapon can touch your soul as long as you put your trust in me. Hold fast to my word. Let me be the single foundation where you rest the heavy weight of your life. I am not sending you into battle alone. I am calling you into a partnership where we walk, fight, and grow together side by side. When you invite me into every decision, every plan, and every deep desire, you will watch your life rise above the superficial noise to find true spiritual depth. You will find peace, wisdom, courage, and the strength to endure. These are the fruits of walking closely with me. It is a divine blessing the world cannot measure with money or fame, but only by the freedom of a heart that knows it is loved unconditionally. The closer you draw to me, the more you will experience things you never saw coming. Doors opening out of nowhere, broken relationships healing, long-time deadlocks finally loosening, impossibilities turning into realities in ways you cannot explain. Do not think my promises are just empty comfort, for I am the God who keeps his word. My blessings are not mirages meant to tease you and leave you stranded. They are real gifts I have been preparing for a very long time, just waiting for the perfect moment to overflow. I know you have prayed for things for years without seeing any answers. Prayers you thought went unheard. Desires you buried away in the drawer labeled impossible. But you do not see that I am working behind the scenes. I am shifting the pieces, transforming your hearts, aligning circumstances, and building character within you. So when the breakthrough comes, you will be ready to hold it without losing your way. A sudden moment is coming, time to perfect precision when my grace will pour over you and everyone connected to your life. Picture a gentle rain falling after a brutal drought, soaking deep into the dry, cracked earth. Green shoots pushing up, dead things coming back to life. That is exactly what I will do for your family, your home, and the generations to come. Your quiet prayers and sacrifices, the moments you chose what was right in the dark, I am gathering them all to unlock a flood of grace over your family line. You might not see the full harvest today, but I have already started a season of healing and reconciliation, bringing deep forgiveness to your household and calling home the loved ones who have wandered far away. I will protect you from seen and unseen dangers, and these blessings will not stop when you are gone. They will overflow to your children and to every life you touch along the way. I am making your home a sanctuary of peace, a place where anyone who enters instantly feels that something is different, an atmosphere of love, respect, and holiness that speaks for itself. Remember, my plans for you will always outgrow your wild imagination. You can draw up plans based on your own limited understanding. You can dream of an easy path with guaranteed success, but my blueprint is deeper and far wider, and infinitely more enduring. I am not just looking at your today or tomorrow, I see your entire journey. From the moment I created you until the day you return home, no human love, no matter how sincere, can match the love I hold for you. My eyes see every part of you. I see your darkest flaws and still draw you close. I know every single time you turn away, yet I still believe in you. I read your deepest unspoken thoughts and patiently wait for you. And that is why no earthly plan, no invitation, no matter how tempting, can match what I have waiting for you when you walk with me. I offer what no one else can, a rock-solid purpose that no storm can ever shake. When you know why you are here, who you serve, and where you are going, you will never again be shaken by what others think, by their comparisons or empty standards. I will fill your heart with a deep peace that people spend lifetimes chasing but can never buy. A peace that does not change with having plenty or having nothing, gaining or losing, triumph or defeat, but is rooted in the simple truth that while everything else shifts, I remain constant. My child, even the dead ends you face, and the mistakes you fear have ruined your life forever. Even the painful things you cannot make sense of, I can still use them to build something beautiful. Give it all to me, the good and the bad, your pride and your regrets. Let me spin it into a brand new story, where the cracks are exactly where the light shines brightest. You will face parts of your life where you feel lost in a dry desert. You pray and feel nothing. You do the right thing and still get treated unfairly. You give love but receive none back. You work hard but see no progress. You call this your dry season. I know how painful it is, but please understand that is often where I am closest to you. When everything around you crumbles and leaves you with nothing, you finally learn to lean on me alone. When shallow pleasures fade away, you start craving a deeper well. I promise not to leave you in that empty wasteland. I guide you through the wilderness so you can learn what truly matters and what simply fades away. When the time is right, I will lead you to refreshing streams where my word brings you new life. You will feel a warm peace in prayer as your soul quietens. You will realize you do not have to struggle just to get by. None of this can be bought or forced. It is a gift to be accepted, and how you receive this gift matters just as much as the blessing itself. If you demand it with an entitled heart, feeling like it is owed to you, then grace cannot reach your deepest parts. But if you open your heart with simple faith like a child surprised by a beautiful gift, knowing deep down that every single breath is a gift, then that blessing will stay and grow deep roots in your life. Trust helps you see my hand at work even before your physical eyes can trace it. Joy keeps your soul wide open, safe from crushing worry, and humility reminds you that you are merely a caretaker, not the owner of my blessings. So right now in this very moment, I am gently calling you to close that chapter and step into a new beginning. Hold on to the hopes I placed inside you, and keep moving forward even when the path is covered in fog. Keep fighting through prayer and choosing what is right each day. Trust me, even when your emotions are completely numb. Know that I am closer to you than you realize. I am shielding you more than you know and preparing wonders that go far beyond anything you could ever ask or dream. When you learn to live with open hands, waiting with true faith, joyful expectancy, and a humble heart, you will find that my favor is not a sudden spark, but a quiet, endless river that never runs dry. It streams softly through your daily life, healing, washing, and renewing every hidden space inside your soul. And from you it overflows to touch the people I have called you to love and serve. My precious child, after everything we have spoken about, starting over and letting me turn your deep pain into beautiful hope, now I must share a quiet secret with you. Cherish the tiny graces I am softly dropping into your daily routine. Do not ignore them. Do not overlook the tiny sparks showing up each day. Some of my greatest blessings do not come in loud, dramatic ways. They do not shake the ground or flash like bright lights. Instead, they arrive softly as a peaceful thought or a quiet chance, a surprise meeting, a gentle whisper, or an open door that is easy to miss. So many people only watch for massive miracles, ignoring the quiet wonders, and step right past grace without knowing it. Do not miss what is right in front of you. I want your soul to be sensitive enough to see that I often hide in the quiet moments a custom treasure made just for you. Do not be so quick to judge my gifts based only on how they look. Sometimes my gift to you looks like an unnoticed task, a quiet job, a duty that nobody else wants to take on, a task that feels heavy and thankless. Others might look down on it, ignore it, or tell you it is just a burden, not a blessing. But my child, what I put in your hands is never cheap or worthless. It is just that eyes focused on worldly glitter struggle to see the beauty hidden in everyday things. It is actually the smallest things welcomed with a thankful heart that become the very places where I pour out new life. Because in quiet, humble spots, grace has space to grow deep roots. I do not look for people who think they are great. I do not seek out hearts full of pride and loud ambition. Instead, I reach down to the ones everyone else overlooks. Those who recognize their own weakness, know their limits, and realize they do not count for much in the world's eyes. Inside that humility, my love finds a home. I love watching quiet souls who have no desire to stand out, who simply ask for the strength to stay faithful. People who never chase after applause, but only want to please me even in the quiet moments nobody else ever witnesses. You might see yourself as completely ordinary, maybe even less than everyone else, but I see details and beauty in you that you have never even noticed. I put a beauty inside you that belongs to you alone, a purpose only you can fulfill, and I want to bring it to life. You compare yourself to others and ask why they get more talent, more chances, and more head starts. You have quietly labeled yourself as small, ordinary, and completely unimportant. But in my hands, my child, the tiniest things can make the impossible happen. I know exactly how fragile you are. I see your cracks, your struggles, and the dark corners you fear to face. But that is exactly where I want to use my power to heal, build, and plant a strength in you that is not of this world. I take those who seem weak and turn them into witnesses of a completely different strength, a power belonging to those who trust me completely rather than relying on their own success. Do not wait until you feel ready, more talented, or more put together before you take the steps I am asking you to take. Wait for perfection, and you will never start. Because on this earth, nobody is truly perfect. I do not call people who already have everything figured out. I call the ones who are willing to let me guide them, step by step. I will never overwhelm you with a massive task all at once. I help you grow slowly through daily, simple acts of faithfulness. Every time you choose what is right in the tiny moments of your day, you are stepping along the path I planned for you long ago. Sometimes my blessings will arrive in ways you would never expect. It might look like a relationship that tests your patience, a challenging person I place in your life to stretch your heart, a trial that forces growth, a closed door meant to teach you deeper trust. If you only look for grand, flashy blessings, you will miss grace when it arrives in a very simple package. But if you can look past the immediate pain and see beyond the surface, you will see that I am quietly shaping you, molding you slowly, surely, and with my infinite wisdom. Have you ever noticed that the most valuable things in life start incredibly small? A tiny seed looks like nothing at all, but when planted in good soil and cared for, it grows into a massive sheltering tree. A kind, quiet word that seems so small can save a soul on the brink of giving up. One tiny choice to forgive, say sorry, or start praying again can completely change a life. My blessings work the exact same way. They are like spiritual seeds. They need you to welcome them, cherish them, and help them grow. If you let them drop onto the cold ground of doubt, they will never take root. But when planted in deep trust, they will quietly begin to sprout in secret. Long before you can see any results, I am looking for hearts willing to open up and say, I believe you are working in my life, even when I do not understand. I do not expect you to know my whole plan. Everything that has happened and is happening to you. Every joy and sorrow, loss, or restoration, I am slowly weaving together into a beautiful masterpiece. From where you stand, you only see messy threads, tight knots, and complete chaos. But from above, I see the finished masterpiece that I am patiently weaving every single day from your life story. My blessings to you are not random pieces, but intentional brushstrokes in a painting far greater than you can see. Learn to hear my voice in the quiet in Scripture and in the small signs I send daily. Do not wait for a crisis before seeking me. Do not just rush to me when pain strikes, only to forget me when peace returns. If you only treat me as a last resort to put out fires, you will miss the quiet blessings I place along your path. When you build a habit of resting in Scripture, of giving me real quiet moments, your heart will soften and wake up. You will stop reacting in anger, judging quickly, or letting the noisy world drain you. In that quiet stillness, you will start noticing what you used to miss, those little moments you once ignored. My spirit constantly searches for a home to rest in deeply, not in a rush, not like a passing visitor, but as a presence that stays to heal you from within. I do not force my way into closed hearts. People who only want comfort and refuse to be challenged, broken, or asked to help others. The Holy Spirit wants to overflow inside a life that understands how to give, a heart brave enough to share what it has to feed the hungry, one that reaches out to hug the lonely and lost, a soul willing to swallow pride to keep peace, a soul that chooses to love even when nobody loves them back. If you want divine blessings to flood your life, make your heart a welcoming home for my presence. Keep it free from greed, free from toxic anger, clean of useless distractions. I have been watching over you. Not just since yesterday, and not just since you finally felt my presence. Way before that, further back than memory goes. Before the very first page of human history was written, I knew you. Your arrival on this earth was no mistake. You are not some random accident, nor a nameless speck of dust floating lost in the cosmos. I designed you with purpose, calling you by name with pure love. Your life is not a messy first draft, but a beautiful story written with care. Even if it makes no sense yet, it is real. Every year you have lived, everything you have faced, every person you have met, and every choice you made, I know them all. I know you have made wrong turns that were never part of my plan for you. But even when you wandered off, I never walked away from you. I do not rip up the pages of your life just because they are stained. I keep writing, healing your mistakes, and bringing light into your darkest moments. So many times you wanted to quit and throw the book away, feeling like your story was over. But I have been holding it gently in my hands, waiting for you to find peace to look at it with me and realize that even in your darkest chapters, my presence was right there beside you. A person I put in your path, a word of hope you heard, or a coincidence that was actually my hand at work. Right now you are standing at a crucial crossroads. Not because of some massive event the world would notice, but because your inner life is finally ready for something deeper. All the pain and joy, the highs and the lows, the hard losses and the deep wounds, has shaped your heart, making it stronger and more genuine, stripping away illusions and preparing you to meet me with a deep, mature faith. This is the exact moment I want you to stop just hearing about your purpose and actually start living it. To do more than just say you trust God's plan and actually start walking like it is the absolute truth. The day you finally see my destiny for you won't come with fireworks or big celebrations. Honestly, it will probably feel like any other ordinary day. But a spark will suddenly ignite deep inside you in a way you can't even describe. You will realize you can't live the old way anymore. You will want to break the habits that slowly drag you away from my goodness. You will refuse to hide in fear and fake security. Instead, you will ask me what you must do to live out the story I wrote for you. And the second you ask that question with a sincere heart, a new door swings open. Never doubt that I am watching over you and that I have chosen you. Even if your life feels completely tangled right now, even if the road is blurry, and even if everything around you looks like a total mess, being chosen has nothing to do with your readiness and everything to do with my love. I never regret calling you, and I am not upset by your delays. I never get tired of waiting for you to come back. If you will just give me a quiet space today, despite all the noise, I will speak to you, where you can truly listen and dare to speak back. Everything I have quietly prepared for years will now unfold. Not all at once, but enough to show you that you are no longer walking alone in the dark. Enough to know that your blessing is coming and actually started the very moment you chose to believe. Yes, Lord, I am not forgotten or left on the sidelines. You have loved and thought of me from all eternity. Now is the time to step into this destiny with me, my child. Let us build on everything I have done in your heart. I do not want this to be just a few emotional moments that fade over time. I want it to become the daily rhythm of your life. Do not let me be just a memory from your darkest days. Let me become your very breath, morning, noon, and night. Every morning when you wake up, before checking your phone, before thinking of chores, and before worries crowd your mind, give me just a little room as your mind and heart. Just whisper, Lord, today I come to you and you are already here waiting for me. I do not demand complicated rituals. I only want you to come to me as you truly are. Bring your daily plans, your dreams, and the desires you hold close into my peaceful presence. Do not only run to me when your world falls apart. Come when things are just starting out. Tell me your thoughts, your goals, and how you are trying to figure things out. Do not worry that these things are too small or not holy enough. Every single detail of your life matters. When you bring every choice and intention into my divine light, you will slowly see what matches my will and what comes only from your own ego. I will gently guide your steps, opening and closing doors at the perfect time so you do not have to stumble through the fog alone. If you struggle with doubts, hard questions, or things you have been too afraid to voice out of fear, bring them all to me. I am not some harsh judge waiting for you to make a mistake just to condemn you. I am a loving Father who wants to hear your honest voice, to know where you feel lost or stuck. If something in scripture or life has left you feeling completely broken and confused, tell me. Just say, Lord, I do not understand why you let this happen. I am ready to hold you. Your questions do not scare me. It only hurts my heart when you are too afraid to share them. Honest conversations like these are exactly what make our relationships so alive, real, and deep. Do not hesitate to bring your failures, your mistakes, and your weaknesses to me every day. You do not have to wait until you are perfect to come to me. Without my grace, you cannot heal anyway. Be honest about the things that are wrong, the ways you have hurt people, and the dark thoughts you hide. Do not sugarcoat them or hide them under excuses. I do not need a holy performance from you. I just want your real heart. And when you dare to drop your mask and stand before me in total vulnerability, you will experience my mercy more deeply than ever before. My forgiveness is not just some cheap hall pass letting you go back to living the same old way. It is a divine power that breaks chains, freeing you from sin and the heavy weight of self-condemnation. Every time you bow your head and honestly admit your faults, I do not just say you are forgiven and walk away. I place my healing hand upon your wounds to soothe and restore you. I breathe new strength into your soul, helping you stand tall and choose what is right. Soon you will find those old habits no longer have power over you. You will not feel completely helpless against temptation anymore. This does not happen because your own willpower suddenly doubled, but because I am quietly working inside you, guiding every small step. That is why I want you to come back to me daily, not to dwell on your weaknesses, but to ensure you are never cut off from my life-giving grace. After you have poured out your heart, cried your tears, and laid down your heavy burdens, I do not want you to stay down on the ground. Stand up. Believe that since I have forgiven and restored you, there is no reason to lock yourself in regret. Get ready to step back into the world with your head held high, not like a defeated soul trying to limp along, but as a restored child of God ready for your calling. True success in my eyes is not about beating others. It is about walking the unique path I designed for you and finishing your divine mission. That is why every time you finish praying, I want you to step forward with a quiet, steady confidence. Today, resolve to live as someone touched and renewed. Remember, time on this earth does not stretch on forever like you think. History is not spinning in some meaningless loop. One day everything comes to a close and my return is closer than you think. Do not let this panic you. Let it wake you up. Every single sunrise is a new opportunity. But it is also one less day to love, to forgive, to do good, and to live your true calling to the fullest. Stop putting off what you already know must be done. That apology you still have not spoken. The healing you have not yet started. That promise to live right which you keep leaving for tomorrow. Tomorrow does not always arrive the way you expect. I tell you, time is short so you can stay awake, not so you drown in fear. There is still so much I want to accomplish through your life. Not just in giant moments, but in simple daily tasks inside your family and in meetings that feel like accidents. When you put me at the center of everything, a simple day becomes the perfect soil for miracles to grow. You will find that miracles are not just physical healings, but a deep change inside your own heart and in everyone you touch. Some miracles are a saved marriage, a child pulled from despair, or a person who lost faith finally coming home. I want to use you for these very things. Not because you are better than others, but because you have walked through pain and know what it means to be lifted up by my grace. Take my hand and move ahead. Do not go back to living like we never met. I know you used to walk alone in the dark, but today you no longer walk alone. When you choose to walk by my side, you will find that parts of the path that used to scare you now feel lighter. Not because the situation changed, but because you know you are never walking by yourself. Bring every choice to me in prayer. Every journey started with surrender will carry my blessing. You might not see the fruit immediately, but do not give up. A seed planted in my light never rots. Remember that behind you, ahead of you, and inside your life, you are always supported. Do not measure your value by what others think or by worldly success, by comparing your numbers to someone else. You are precious not for what you do, but because you are mine. When you get tired, I carry you. When you are lost, I look for you. When you fall, I heal you. Knowing you are sheltered under my wings will give you the strength to live with real courage, to say yes to things that once terrified you, and to step into places where I send you even when your heart shakes. My love for you never changes. It does not depend on moods, and it does not rise or fall with your success or failure. I do not love you more when you are busy for me, nor do I love you less when you are weak and slow. My great joy is simply seeing you return to me every single day so I can speak to your heart, guide your steps, wipe your tears, and make you strong again. Deep inside my heart, there are so many blessings I am waiting to give you. So many beautiful plans for your future and for the people you love. I am not keeping these a secret. I want to share them to trust you and to let you play a part in my divine plan instead of just watching from the outside. You keep thinking my blessing is something far away, but honestly, it is right in front of your eyes, tucked away in the tiny moments you do not notice yet. Like every day, you choose to set aside time for me. Every time you choose to forgive and every moment you put someone else before your own ego, you open doors I have already prepared. The true reward is not just money or status. It starts with deep peace, a family put back together, healed relationships, and future generations, enjoying the fruits of your faith. All of this is pure blessing, is grace, a gift I have already set in place, just waiting for you to step into this rhythm of life with me so you can receive it. If you keep holding tight to my hand, your days will never feel empty again, but a steady journey taken step by step, filled with a deep, quiet joy. This joy does not rely on everything going exactly the way you planned, but flows from knowing you are headed in the right direction with your hand held firmly in mine. Your family and loved ones will slowly notice the change inside you, and they will start sharing in that bright light. I do not want this joy to stay hidden in your soul. Let it spread into your home, your job, and your relationships. When you welcome my presence into the middle of your life, your home turns into a safe haven for tired hearts. and you will be the very first to feel that beautiful fullness. So do not wait until you have everything figured out to begin. Don't wait until you are finally free, worry-free, or done struggling before you decide to draw close to me. Start right now, just as you are still doubting, still carrying so many deep wounds. With so many things still unsettled, just come to me daily. Bring your beautiful moments and your broken pieces, your joys and your heavy sorrows. Every single moment we share will bring a spark of light, a touch of peace and clear direction. Step by step, in this very quiet way, I will carve out a path that grows clearer, brighter, and overflowing with the blessings you once believed you were never good enough to receive. I'm waiting for you every single day, not just now and then. Don't let this call fade away like other things you hear and quickly forget. Give this way of living a try. Come find me in the morning. Think of me at noon. Rest in my arms when night falls. Lay your burdens down. Ask me your questions, listen closely, and then walk in trust. You'll be amazed to discover that even if your external world looks exactly the same as before, everything inside is different, more stable, deeply quiet, and filled with the endless grace I promise to you and your family. You only have to take that first step. Leave the rest to me, my beloved child. I see the thick, dark fog that constantly drifts over your mind, bringing those heavy, discouraging thoughts. Those painful words you replay on loop until you actually start believing they are absolute truth. You whisper that you are too weak, too flawed, too damaged for anything good, and definitely unfit for the promises I gave you. You keep staring at your scars, your regrets, your constant stumbles, and decide that you're just a guilty soul waiting for the final sentence to fall. But today I want you to know I'm peeling those suffocating layers off your mind. Like a patient father, I am leaning down to unlock each invisible chain holding your soul down. The chains of despair, of self-hate, and that deep sense of helplessness you can't even describe. I didn't come to point fingers, interrogate you, or drag up all your past mistakes. I'm here to wipe away your tears so you can view yourself and your future with fresh eyes. The eyes of someone who knows they are deeply forgiven and loved forever. Let go of what has weighed so heavily on your heart. That crushing sense of guilt, the painful memories of bad decisions, and those sleepless nights spent wrestling with regret and fear. I don't ignore those feelings. I step right into that darkness as both a righteous judge and a merciful father. By the standards of justice, sin always carries a cost. But inside my heart, love demands a way to set you free. I willingly took the punishment that was meant for you. I let darkness believe it had won just so you could finally look up and hear me say your debt has been completely wiped away. Not because you fixed it yourself, but because I personally tore up the record of your wrongs and crushed every accusation the enemy had against you. Those lies whispered in your ear that you're beyond saving, that you have drifted too far away, and that blessings are only for other people, all lose their power when I speak. I forgive you, and it is gone forever. I choose to see you as my child returning home, not as a criminal who needs to hide in shame. You used to think the fallout from your past mistakes would block your path, forever slamming the door on your future. But hear me clearly, I don't promise to wipe away every single trace of your history. But I promise that nothing can block the good things I have planned for your life. If you let me guide you, your past mistakes might leave a few scars, but when you give them to me, those scars won't keep you from my grace. Instead, they will show how I rescued you, a living proof of escape from a dark place that had no exit. The enemy wants to use those old memories to freeze you in place, whispering that you are ruined and hopeless. But I touch those exact thoughts and declare that they are simply the starting line for the new work I'm beginning in you. Right where you stumbled, I will lift you up, making you stronger, humbler, and far more compassionate. No shadow can ruin the beautiful future I have designed for you if you just let me step in and lead. While the entire world shakes with fear, bad news, and chaos, it is so easy for you to get pulled into that panic. People are scrambling everywhere looking for safety. Some count on money while others rely on their connections. And some stubbornly believe their own grit is enough to get them through the storm. Sometimes you have felt tempted to copy them, trying to build a secure life using the empty promises of this world. But my child, I have carved out a different path for you. You don't need to run around desperately looking for shelter. You have the quiet privilege of stepping directly into the innermost room of my house, straight to my glorious throne. No appointments, no formal interviews, and absolutely no need to prove your worth. Ever since the day I called you my child, that door has stood open. No one can ever shut it. While others must knock on worldly doors hoping to be let in, you can step into my presence anytime, anywhere, with nothing more than a soft whisper from your heart. I do not see you as a stranger begging for handouts. You are my child coming home from a long journey. Come close, sit down, and speak to me about your deepest fears, the things you cannot tell anyone else. I never rush to judge you. I listen closely when you call, and I never pretend to be too busy. I am never deaf to the quiet cry of a sincere heart. Others in this world may tire of your repeated stories and persistent struggles, but I never do. To me, every return is a fresh start. Every prayer you offer is a sacred act of trust that I deeply treasure. You do not stand here as a beggar, but as a true heir. You have the right to call me Father, knowing your words will never fall into empty space. I want you to start seeing yourself this way, no longer as an outsider on the margins, but as someone who lives at the very center of my heart. The world around you will stay in turmoil. This unrest will not end overnight, and the storms outside might grow even wilder, but do not anchor your hope in things that shift from day to day. Instead, anchor it in the one who never changes. I am not asking you to ignore real danger, nor do I expect you to switch off your feelings. I am simply inviting you to keep fear from ruling your heart. I am your safe refuge. When the non-stop news filling your ears offers only reasons to worry, remember that you have another home to return to and a different voice to guide you. Do not build your home on fleeting emotions. Plant your trust deep in me. I am the one who never makes half promises, and I will not walk away when life gets hard. I have promised that I will never leave you, and I am not in the habit of breaking my word. You have walked away from me many times, wandering off and forgetting me for months. Yet whenever you return, you find me right where I have always been, never having left, never changing my address, and never closing my door in anger. If I was that faithful to you during the years you ignored me, why would you fear that I might abandon you now when you are trying so hard to come back home? I want you to learn how to stand strong even when the ground beneath you shakes. Standing firm does not mean you will never tremble or shed tears. It means choosing not to let wild winds of emotion sweep you off the secure foundation of grace. You are established on a solid foundation, my love, my faithfulness, and my promise. I have even carved your name on the palm of my hand. Hold on to this truth whenever you feel yourself beginning to waver. Do not alter your path just because you face a brief season of silence. Silence does not mean I am gone. Sometimes it is just a pause letting you look closely at what you are standing on. Choose to stay firmly by my side, even when everything around you drags you in the opposite direction. True faithfulness is not about constant emotional highs. It is the simple decision not to walk away when your heart feels numb. In those dry moments, I am quietly drawing you closer than ever. You once believed you could only stand strong when life was quiet, neat, and completely under your control. But I want you to find a much deeper truth. You can rise up even when darkness surrounds you. You can hold on to your faith during the fiercest storms. Not because your own strength is enough, but because I am fighting for you. I put a power in your hands that you rarely believe is there. You have the authority to speak directly to the wild storms howling all around you. You have the power to command peace in chaos and the power to refuse to live as a victim. You have grown used to letting life drag you along. When things go well, you rejoice. When they crash, you despair. Today, I want to teach you to flip the script, letting your words rise from a deep trust in me. Start shaping your circumstances. When fear creeps in, do not just swallow it down. Open your mouth and call on your Father. Declare that you belong to me and refuse to let the darkness take control of your mind. This will not feel natural at first, but I invite you to try it the next time anxiety washes over you. When conflicts, misunderstandings, and old wounds close in around you, just stop. Take a deep breath. Remember that you are not a helpless pawn being pushed around. You have a voice. Talk to me. Speak directly to the storms raging inside your soul. I trust in my Lord, and I will not let fear control me. I choose the peace of God. This isn't ignoring my problems, but putting them in their place under my feet. By doing this, you lift your hands not to surrender to defeat, but to claim your final victory, winning before you even see the outcome, choosing faith because you know I am working behind the scenes. Troubles might try to choke you, but you fight back with quiet trust instead of panic. You defeat the hidden traps trying to steal your joy. My child, do not think these are just comforting words. I invite you to truly live this truth. Try taking small daily steps, starting every morning with surrender instead of complaining. Offer one gentle word instead of shouting. Whisper a quick prayer for peace amidst the chaos. Every time you do, my grace flows through you. You take my hand and we walk through the spiritual battle side by side instead of you fighting alone. I ruled over those storms before they even gathered, and I am holding your hand as you walk through them. When you let me walk beside you, you will see that the things that used to terrify you have lost their power. They just become a dark stage where my faithfulness and your faith shine bright. Looking back one day, you will finally understand. It was never about your own strength, but that I never left your side for a single second. You did not have to be strong because you allowed me to be your ultimate shield. From then on, you won't view hardships the same way. Deep down, you will know you belong to the Lord who commands with a single word, and the wild winds and waves obey. As my child, you are invited to speak with that same authority in your own life. My dear child, after all the healing I have done in your heart, let me gently but firmly remind you of something crucial. Never hand your divine destiny over to another flawed human being. You can love them, respect them, and learn from them, but do not make any person the ultimate answer for your soul. Even the leaders you admire most. The ones you think are untouchable can stumble, grow tired, make mistakes, and lose their path. If you place all your hope and faith in a human being, your heart will shatter when they fall. I do not want your soul chained to the pedestal of any person. I want you free to love people deeply without turning them into idols that take my place in your heart. Walk beside them and accept their help, but never forget that they need my grace just as much as you do. When you are desperate for support, it is easy to be blinded by people who seem strong, flashy, and full of spiritual power. They speak with absolute confidence, hold high positions, and attract massive crowds. So you assume that if you just hold on to them, you will remain safe. But my child, alongside my truly chosen servants, there are those who wear a mask of holiness just to hide their own ego, pride, and worldly ambitions. They know exactly how to feed on your fears and insecurities, making you totally dependent on them. They offer quick fixes, cheap shortcuts, and instant miracles. If you just give them what they want and blindly obey without ever questioning their motives, do not be blinded by these tricks. Remember, my salvation is a free gift. It can never be bought or sold. Stay alert around those who try to impress you with loud, flashy shows. Not everyone who screams my name, raises their hands, and weeps at the altar belongs to me. I am not moved by loud noises, but by a sincere heart. People who use my holy name to build their brand, control others, and seek power, turning the sacred into a money-making show. They talk endlessly about faith, yet they completely lack humility. They boast of miracles, but never lead souls to real repentance. Remember, not everyone who cries out, "Lord, Lord," will enter my kingdom. What actually matters is whether your life and heart truly lean toward me. So do not be quick to trust things that are just outward flash and glitter. Some will show up and claim they can transform your entire life if you just perform certain rituals, give a specific amount of money, or bring them expensive gifts. They treat me like a corrupt judge taking bribes and make you a customer paying for blessings. Remember, my love is never for sale. It cannot be bought with money or earned through flashy shows. When they make huge dramatic promises and act like you cannot reach me without them, run the other way. Listen, real miracles from me will always draw your soul closer to the truth, to true repentance, and to deep peace. I do not want things that just spark brief excitement or temporary feelings, only to leave you empty inside. Have the courage to walk away from people and places that make you depend on them instead of clinging to me. Build your life on me alone, not on temporary things. Remember, I am the sole creator who shaped your soul out of nothing. I am the one who hears every beat of your heart, the one who stepped into deep darkness to rescue you. Nobody knows your story or understands your past the way I do. I know exactly what you need to live a full, beautiful life. I am not just some distant religious concept. I am right here, alive and listening, speaking to you every day. If you build your life on shifting sand, the coming storms will wash it all away. But if you lean on me, you might still get shaken, thrown around, and even hurt. Still deep inside, a safe space remains. Nobody can touch the sacred place where we belong to each other. Now I want you to learn how to recognize the voices around you. You are surrounded by noise, human opinions, endless gossip, harsh judgments and threats, temptations, and even conflicting thoughts whispering inside your very own heart. Voices of fear, shame, pride, and heavy exhaustion. Amid all that noise, my voice never comes with loud, chaotic shouting, but rather like a soft breeze, a sudden wave of clarity drawing you gently toward what is good. My voice will never panic you, even if its truth shakes you to the core. It always guides you toward deeper freedom, infinite mercy, and absolute truth. By staying close to me, you will slowly learn to distinguish my whisper from the dark forces trying to pull you away from the light. Do not just believe everything that claims to speak in my name. Look closely at where it leads you. Does it bring peace or confusion? Does it foster love or division? Do not be surprised if, while everyone else is wrapped in darkness, you feel an unexplainable spark of hope glowing within you. I never promise to spare you from hard times, but I do promise a joy far deeper than any earthly trouble. While others lose hope and feel like giving up, I want your life to prove that you can still stand back up even after falling 1,000 times. Not because you are stronger, but because you let me lift you up every single morning when you wake. Even if you are exhausted, you can still whisper, "I want to spend today with you." That simple, quiet prayer is exactly where I give you the strength to take one more step even when those around you have grown tired and quit. My Holy Spirit is not some passing breeze that blows once and then disappears. He wants to make a home in you, protecting and guiding your soul through every single moment. When you are completely drained with no drive left, just crying out, "Please help me," is enough to put him in motion. He will bring my words back to your mind, resurrecting forgotten hopes you thought were dead and unlocking strengths you never knew you had. I am not looking for flawless faith. I am simply waiting for your honest heart. If you find the courage to say you want to believe even while trembling with fear, I will take that tiny seed and make it grow. Now do not just listen with your head. Let your entire body rest in this prayer. Find a moment of complete quiet. Even if the world around you is loud, close your eyes and softly place a hand on your chest, feeling your heartbeat without stopping. Focus on each rhythm. This is not just some simple physical reaction. It is absolute proof that you are still here for a divine purpose. Now picture me sitting right there in front of you. I am not far away or cold. I am close, real, and tender. No fancy words are needed. Just whisper from your soul. I trust you, Lord. Even if I do not understand it all, I am ready to hold your hand. Right then, I will do what my heart always longs to do. I will fill you with a peace the world can never give or take away. Let your weary soul taste what it feels like to be completely filled, not with shallow praise or worldly approval, but with pure, unconditional love. I am gently filling those empty corners you tried so hard to pack with distractions, success, empty relationships, control, and pretty illusions. I am replacing them with a quiet comfort, showing you that you are never alone, that you have someone constant standing beside you who truly gets you even when the rest of the world does not. The more time you spend with me, the more your inner chaos fades, not because your circumstances suddenly get better, but because a steady, quiet space begins to grow deep within you, a solid rock where you can rest safe from being swept away. You are living in a season where hardship feels like a whirlwind battering every area of your life. Work, family, health, relationships, and your future. Sometimes you feel like a tiny boat lost in a raging ocean. Every piece of bad news, every setback, and every hurtful word feels like a wave tossing you high only to crash you down. You have probably felt like you were sinking, completely lost at sea. But right when you cried out from the depths, "Please save me," I stepped onto those crashing waves to reach you. I do not start by explaining why this storm happened, but by resting my hand gently upon your soul as I speak. The chaos around you might not vanish instantly, but the storm raging inside will start to fade. I once silenced the wind and waves with a single command, and I can bring that same peace to your troubled heart. I only ask that you let me into those hidden depths where you still try to bury your fear of rejection, the shame of falling short, and the pain of being misunderstood. When you surrender these hurts to me, I do not throw them away, I heal them. I will lift your spirit and fortify your soul so you can stand tall through shifting winds. I want to anchor you on solid rock, not on sand that washes away. That rock is the truth that you are deeply loved, chosen, and protected. Your value never depends on human praise, failure, or circumstances, but on how I see you. When you build your life on this foundation, you can face any ongoing storm without ever breaking apart. You will stop chasing the shifting winds of public opinion or buying into the empty promises of worldly success. You will learn to bow humbly before me while still walking with your head held high through this world. And whenever those heavy waves strike, you won't panic. Instead, you will instantly remember who is standing right beside you. You will know my hand has always reached out to you. Just keep holding on, keep trusting, and come back whenever your grip slips. Through this journey of faith, you will find yourself slowly changing, becoming calmer, more deeply rooted, and less easily shaken by outer appearances. You will hold closer to God than anything else. That is my deepest hope for you, my beloved. I never promised a life without trials, but a heart that knows how to stand on the rock. A soul that trusts only in me through the fiercest winds of this life. My child, I know you sometimes feel stuck in the middle. You do not want to go back to the past that drained you, but you lack the courage to step into an uncertain future. Your mind is like a quiet harbor where the ship of your dreams sits totally still. It is tied tight by ropes of fear and doubt, battered by the world's harsh criticism, its judging looks, and the bitter memories of past failure. These heavy waves crash against your vessel, making you believe it is safer to stay completely still and never move again. But my beloved child, I did not create you to cling forever to that fragile safety. I designed you to sail the deep waters where the Holy Spirit can fill your sails. I want you to know that even in the wildest storms, you still have a destination, and I am watching over you. Many times you have heard me call, "Go forward," yet you keep looking back at the shore where painful old memories still burn, and where cruel words still echo in your mind telling you that you are helpless and will never amount to anything. Those lies act like freezing headwinds trying to blow out the tiny spark of hope I just placed in your heart. You start to believe that big dreams are only meant for people who are stronger, more gifted, or better equipped, while you must settle for a dull, empty life. Yet even when you doubt, I am still standing with you on your boat, my hand resting gently on the canvas, patiently waiting for you to let go of the ropes. I never blame you for your doubts, nor do I judge your weakness. I am just waiting for the moment you whisper one simple prayer: "Lord, let us go out into the deep water together." Then my spirit will blow with power, not to capsize your vessel, but to carry you far from the dark shores that kept you trapped. Think about this. If a ship always stays tied to the dock to avoid the waves, it never fulfills its true purpose. Ships are not built to sit as decorations on the sand, they are made to conquer the ocean. Likewise, you were not created to live in defeat, trapped in tight circles of fear, letting the harsh words of others define your worth. I know those painful words made your heart ache and killed great plans, making you whisper, "Better stop dreaming." But if you keep letting those voices steer your life, your boat will just spin in circles in shallow water, never reaching the deep where I am waiting. These storms do not exist to drown your dreams, but to teach you to lean on me when the waves roll. What I want from you is simple. When the storm builds and accusations fly, when insults and misunderstandings surround you, do not look down into the dark churning water or stare at the foaming waves. Lift your eyes and look for me instead. I am not standing on a safe shore watching you fight alone. I am right there in the boat in the middle of the storm with you, and my eyes never leave you, not for a single second. If you focus on the howling wind, fear will grow and make you feel like you are sinking. But look at me, and your heart will realize that no matter how hard the water hits, you are never alone. I am the anchor keeping you balanced, the compass pointing your way, and the captain who knows exactly how to steer clear of the rocks. Your job is not to manage the storm, but to keep your eyes on the one leading you. I know your shoulders feel heavy under the weight of so many worries. Family obligations, the endless pressure of daily needs, messy relationships, and the exhaustion of working hard without seeing results. Sometimes you sigh and tell me, "I cannot take it anymore. It is too heavy." I hear those words loud and clear, and I do not see that as weakness. It is a genuine cry for help from a child who is just too used to carrying everything alone. I never asked you to carry the entire boat on your shoulders. I only want you to let me share those heavy burdens with you. You are holding on to things I never asked you to carry, like the constant pressure to look perfect to other people, the constant need for praise, and the exhausting habit of comparing your life to everyone else. These extra weights pack your bags tight, draining your energy before you even step onto the boat. Gently, I want to teach you how to drop them, to let go of toxic expectations, false self-images, and useless self-criticism. As for the real duties and unavoidable trials that remain, I will carry them right alongside you. The patience I ask of you is not quiet surrender, pretending there is no storm, nor is it a careless attitude that just lets everything drift away. True patience is accepting that some parts of your journey simply cannot be rushed. Some lessons can only be learned by walking straight through them, not bypassing them. Each day brings its own challenges. Behind the scenes, I am quietly building those inner muscles you cannot yet see. The ability to endure without turning bitter. To stand firm without panic, trusting me without needing to see the outcome first. Right now, you might feel yourself shaking before a small trial, but if you let me walk with you tomorrow, you will be amazed that what once kept you awake at night was only a warm-up. Real strength does not just appear. It grows slowly in those exact moments when you want to quit but still whisper to me, saying, "I am tired, but I will not let go of your hand." You must learn to trust me with your decisions, not just your words. Trust is not just a warm feeling during prayer or a few emotional moments when a special song plays. It is choosing to stand with me, even when everything around you fights against it. When the pressure mounts, you have two choices. You can either let it crush you or let it push you even deeper into a life of trust. I never promise that faith means you will never feel anxious. I only promise that your fear will no longer have the power to rule you. You might still tremble, but you will not turn back. You might still feel confused, but you will not let go of my hand. Through this, your faith becomes solid, no longer just a vague idea, but your daily breath. Eventually, you will realize that what keeps you safe is not the strength of your grip on me, but the power of my hand constantly holding you. You often measure my presence by your passing emotions. When life is smooth, you feel I am near, but during turmoil, you assume I have walked away. But my dear child, feelings are just waves on the surface. My love and my plan for you run like a deep ocean current, flowing steadily, even when the storm rages above. The anxieties that tighten your chest today, the pressures tempting you to quit, and those endless questions about where this is going, all of these are very real. I do not ignore your struggles. I do not ask you to pretend everything is fine, but weigh them against the deep joy I am quietly preparing for you. And you will see they cannot even be compared. Imagine the sweet relief of knowing you pushed through a dark season without giving up. Think of the emotion when a new door finally opens after you thought every path was blocked. The beautiful peace of watching others find hope through the very trials you survived. This is a kind of joy that no trouble in this world can ever take away. My blessing for you is not some temporary gift dropped from the sky, meant to please you for a brief moment and then vanish. It is the beautiful fruit of my grace working hand in hand with your faithful response. When you choose to stay in your little boat, letting my wind guide you forward instead of turning back to shore every time a wave hits. When you keep forgiving, choosing what is good and holy, even when those around you do not understand. You are sowing seeds that will one day harvest a field of joy. When that blessing arrives, it won't feel strange, but like the natural destination of your long journey of trust. You will no longer wonder with a doubting heart, why do I deserve this? Instead, you will smile and whisper, I knew you would never abandon me. And your joy won't be a loud burst of laughter, but a deep, quiet peace that anchors you as you look back on the stormy days. Let your heart overflow with gratitude, because those stormy days were exactly what taught you how to cling to me. Remember, what I am doing inside you now is not just for today. It is for the future, for the people you are going to meet, and for the souls you will quietly touch when you dare to let my wind fill the sail of your life. You won't travel alone. Other smaller boats more lost and fragile will watch you ride the waves and find their own courage. You do not need to shout about your faith, you only need to keep moving forward. Stay on course, keep your eyes fixed on me. Watching someone dare to live like that in a shifting world is already a powerful testimony. And every single step, every gust of wind that carries you forward will be a quiet, powerful answer to the insults, the lies and judgments, and the old fears that once kept you paralyzed. So my beloved, do not shrink back any longer. Let me stand in the boat with you, sharing my love and power. Let me take the helm and guide you through the longest nights. You never have to prove yourself to me. I knew you completely long before you ever learned to fear the storm. The only thing I ask is that you do not shut the door of your heart against hope. Believe that you can still go on, that those trembling hands can still pull the ropes, and that your broken heart can still love. That you can still trust and welcome new blessings. If you dare to raise the sail and leave the shore, leave the rest to me. I will provide the wind, the direction, the strength, and the joy that blossoms later. I have already prepared everything for you. Just step aboard and speak to me with a voice quiet yet strong enough to shake the heavens. Lord, I believe you will guide me through this exact moment. Open your heart wide. Come close to me and whisper the most honest prayers rising from the depths of your soul. Almighty God, who watches over both the endless universe and the smallest speck of dust, today I come to you with a heart that is often distracted and ungrateful. I have spent my life chasing big flashy things, forgetting that you usually speak in small whispers, through quiet moments and ordinary people who seem completely unremarkable. Lord, forgive me for the times I have taken your blessings for granted, for the moments I walked right past your invitations simply because they did not look like what I expected. Open the eyes of my soul so I can cherish the simple things like having another day to wake up, a family that stands by me, an honest, tiring day of work, a friend who truly listens, a chance to serve even when no one is watching. Teach me to view life in your light, recognizing that every single blessing, no matter its form, flows from your loving heart. Mold and shape my heart so I stop chasing outward success and learn to humble myself instead, to receive and cherish the quiet gifts of grace you send me every single day. So my life itself becomes a living hymn of gratitude to you, my loving Father who treasures humble hearts. I come before you just as I am. I am weak, easily discouraged, quick to compare myself, and hurt when I see others who seem more gifted and successful. So often, I count myself out of your plans, telling myself I do not belong. I assume you only use people who are better and more talented. Lord, forgive my stubbornness today. Deep down, I know it is just my way of resisting your beautiful plan for my life. Help me embrace my weakness, not to give up, but to trust that your strength shines brightest through my limitations. Teach me to walk quietly among the humble souls you love so much. People who do not put themselves at the center of everything, who never chase high status but only want to be where you lead. Do not let insecurity make me run from my true calling, and never let pride make me forget that every blessing inside me is a pure gift. Father, pour out your Holy Spirit to shape and renew my heart, making me a gentle instrument in your hands, ready to be used by you at any time, in any place, and in whatever way serves your purpose for me and others. Almighty God, I bow in deep gratitude. Out of so many talented, successful people who seem so much bigger than me and more worthy in the eyes of the world, you still look directly at me. Thank you for choosing me, not for my accomplishments, my looks, or my possessions. You choose me in all my simplicity and awkwardness, right in the exact places where I feel ashamed. Thank you for not giving up on me when I gave up on myself. When I claimed I was worthless, you whispered, I choose you. When I believed I had nothing valuable to offer, you gently gave me small steps to take, helping me find my way back when I felt completely left out. You met me there, took my hand, and guided me into your beautiful plan. Please receive my deepest thanks for this incredible mercy. Teach me to honor the gift of being chosen not with a boastful heart, but through a quiet life, faithfully doing small things with massive love so that every single day I can bring glory to you before the world. Merciful Father, today I pause. I ask for nothing except to thank you for all the blessings I have taken for granted or simply forgotten to mention. Thank you, Lord, for the mornings when I can still open my eyes to see the light, for the breath that fills my lungs, for hands and feet that still move and work, for those who love me, and for the grace to love them back. I thank you for the ordinary blessings that are in truth incredibly precious. Food on my plate to fill me, a roof protecting me from the sun and rain, a safe place to rest when I am exhausted, a quiet corner where I can pray, and I even thank you for the struggles that forced me to grow, the painful losses that taught me what really matters, and the disruptions that made me stop and look at my life. Forgive me for focusing on what I do not have while completely ignoring the endless ocean of blessings you already poured into my life. Let thankfulness become the rhythm of my heart, so that every day in calm seas or heavy storms, my lips are filled with sincere gratitude. Lord, I lift up this prayer in the holy name of Jesus Christ. Amen. Remember to subscribe and turn on notifications so we can grow this beautiful community of faith together. Hey. Yes, so true. Amen. Oh yeah. Hey, yeah, trust him. Mister, always. Amen.